Hey guys, welcome back to Guitarchaeology with Pinetop Jackson. Check out this slice of pop culture Americana I've got to show you today. Today we're going to be talking about Harmony. Harmony was founded in 1892 by a German immigrant named Wilhelm Schultz. Harmony guitars were all made in Chicago up until the company ceased in 1975. They were the #1 budget student guitar manufacturer of the 60s. Now, Stella was a brand that was originally started by another German immigrant, Oscar Schmidt. These guitars were built in New Jersey. Schmidt died in 1929, and his company eventually dissolved. Harmony bought the rights to the name Stella in 1939. My first guitar was a Harmony Stella that belonged to my mother. Here's a photo of her playing it when she was about 15, so that would have been in the early 1970s. Here's another photo of it being played by her little brother, my uncle, who's left-handed. And here's a photo of me with the Stella. I was 18 or 19 here in the late 1990s, and you can see how I mistreated the guitar. But I learned a lot on that old Stella. After a summer road trip to Nevada, I wound up leaving it behind, and now it's lost forever. A few years ago, I went on a hunt for a replacement, and that's where this guitar came from. I have no idea what model number my mom's old guitar was. It's long since gone. But I was looking specifically for this pickguard shape. And also these inlays, the headstock shape, and the logo. I made a video about the search for that guitar, and you can watch that here, or here. But this video is going to be a guitarchaeology about this particular guitar, a Harmony Stella model H-6128. So I need to restring this old Stella, and I thought now would be the perfect time to make an updated video about it. Here's the bridge assembly. These ferrules came off when I took the strings out. This model is later for sure than the one that my mom had. They both had the iconic pressed metal tailpiece, but the one I got from my mother had, the bridge was just a little piece of triangular wood. And this one is a little step up. It's a plastic, and it's got some screws that you could raise and lower it slightly. If they work, I'm not sure. Here's the headstock, and we can compare the details to other Stella models. Here's an early one from the 1940s. See how the stenciled Stella logo slants. Then here's a later one with the star, and here's another one with this star that reads Harmony under Stella. And this is the layout that my mom's guitar had. Stella Harmony with the star in the middle of the headstock. A couple differences to note on this H-6128. The star is up here above the E. And also the font is different, less italicized, and look at the letter A. But notice another iconic trait from Harmony, the steel reinforced neck logo. This stencil was introduced around 1959. Most of the Harmonies you're going to find these days, you're going to see this logo stenciled on the headstock. Here we'll take a look at the neck, skinny brass frets, and the fret markers are always a cool feature on these little guitars. They were painted directly on the fretboard with a stencil. I think earlier I said inlays, just out of habit of calling fret position markers inlays, but these are just painted on. The cheapest of the cheapest models had just dot markers, but some of them got kind of intricate. Here's the monolithic capital H for Harmony. Here's the 3 bars. And then you can see the markers on my mom's Stella were just a fancier version of those on this H-6128. Don't pay any attention to the 666 stickers. That's just something teenagers did when they grew up on metal and horror movies. Speaking of horror movies, that's kind of what it looks like down inside the sound hole. But these are not blood splatters. That's just glue. Hide glue that's been slopped around when the Chicago workers were putting the guitar together. You see that type of stuff a lot with Harmony. These things were mass produced. Some years they churned out hundreds of thousands of guitars. With volumes like that, precision and attention to detail would actually slow down the manufacturing process. Let's look at the serial number. It reads 9575H6128. The last part of this number is the model number, H6128. The numbers preceding the H are a sequential batch number. but that batch number was reset at the conclusion of each run, so it is of no use to us if we're trying to determine the date of the guitar. There is another stamp that'll help us out though. Further down inside the body. On this guitar, it got stamped right on the sound hole label. The date stamp is usually in bluish or greenish ink. It starts with either an S or an F, then a dash, and a 2-digit number indicating the year. An S indicates the guitar is from the spring run of that year, being made for the summer season. An F means it was made in the fall, gearing up for the Christmas holidays. The factory would close down for 2 weeks every summer. Mr. Schultz strived to treat everyone in his factory as family, and these 2 days of paid time off was wonderful for morale. It also provides an easy division line between the spring and the fall runs. The date stamp on this seller reads S72, so we know it was made in the spring of 1972. The stamp says Made in USA at the bottom, and then you'll see the letters ML after the 72. These are the initials of the final inspector who signed off on the product. I've seen these suffix letters read WS, IC, CW. I've never seen the same initials twice, but they gotta be out there. Harmony catalogs list over 400 models of guitars, but that doesn't really mean there are 400 separate models. Unlike Japanese manufacturers of the era, Harmony did a wonderful job with their date stamping system, but the way they labeled their models was kinda all over the place. Some model numbers were just variations of other guitars. Some guitars had the same model number, but were completely different guitars. This particular Stella, labeled as the H-6128, was only made for 3 years, from 1972 to 1975, but it is the exact same guitar as the Harmony Stella model number H-927, which had been made since 1964. Here's a couple pages from a 1972 Harmony catalog. My Stella is featured on the left. Here's the description. H-6128 Stella guitar. Fruitwood stained back, sides, and neck. Natural finish top. Striped top edge and decorated sound hole. Accurately fretted fingerboard. Attractive pickguard. Chrome tailpiece. Easy action adjustable bridge. Size 13 1/8 by 36 inches. And it retailed back in 1972 for $39.95. So if you've owned one of these little Harmony Stellas in the past, please leave me a comment down below. Tell me your story. I want to say thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.